Hey guys. Hey Peter. Hey Chirp. Mark, g'day. Paul, hello. Chirpy. Yeah, I am as well. I'm not. We've got some new tech, thanks to Peter. Hope you're alright, Paul. Hang around for a bit. Bill, g'day. We're on the phone. I'm not really convinced about this. We've got a tripod. It's not. To be honest, I'm not sure it's ideal. Because you're swinging around like this, you see, which is all very well. I'm going to have to play with this. Might be covering the mic a bit. I'm going to take this off. That's got to be a lot more steady. It might be the wrong way around. There could be 1,000 things. I'll have to play with it. Apart from that, looks like it's probably a really good thing. It's just a little bit too close to put it on the bench, and that's why we stand back here. Have to have a play with it. Anyway, what's happening, everyone? I'm not sure where the microphone is in this. Not sure. I'm just quiet. That's about all it is. Yeah. This is, we'll have to go on live sometime and play with it. Theoretically, it's quite good, and potentially it's also quite good, but struggling with it a bit. At this point, it's the first time I've really used it. I'm just quiet. Mark Osborne, good day. Does this help anything? Does that help anything, TMB? Probably it does. Don't know. Anyway, what's everyone doing? This is my weekend. My weekend was brass chips. There are no whistle parts evident on this bench, really. It's watchable. Thanks, Steve. No whistle parts on this bench because they're all at the welders being welded up and he never finished them tonight. So that's all right. We won't want to rush him too much. Team Biscuits, you're probably right. The new camera is on my list of things to do at some point, but there are other things first, like getting this steam engine pump going and messing with this. What did I do this weekend? A lot of brass. Decided that this casting's probably... Oh, Bill, that's a bit rough. You want a stale beer beside your bed. If it keeps you awake in the night, mouthful of that and swill it round, that'll fix you flat and warm. Anyway, good morning, William Henry. Yeah, but Bill works, I think. I don't think this casting's cleaned up, and we'll have a look at the patterns so that is decide why. Fridge, g'day. We could do with some more light here. Whoa, that's blinded everyone. So, by the time we bore this out, this isn't a problem. This isn't really even a very off balance, to be honest. Spin this all right. This needs boring out, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it because I think this thread diameter is too small, and I'll explain why. This is the valve bobbin, right? Sort of. Now, whether I put cores in this or whether I actually cast it in 2 bits, I'm not sure. Not sure what the best way to do this is. You could cast it as an inner and an outer and just put a core in the inner. It's probably the best way, but not convinced about it really. And also, what we've got here is a sharp corner where the steam goes through, which I don't like very much at all. But this goes in there from the other end, and it'll clean up all right with that core, right? It'll bore through. And that's got a tapered seat on the other end, like a valve seat on this end. Also, if we have a look at that, this is way longer than it should be. So I'm not sure about that. Might have to have another look at that because I've just noticed that. So this might be an issue, or that might be an issue. Don't know what is. Anyway, I think this casting is probably going to get melted down again, and we're going to have another go at it with a proper size thread. This is only 1 3/4 BSB, and it really needs to be 2 inch. And that'll give enough room for this seat in the top here, because if we look at it, there isn't really enough there. Well, not that these are the same size, but there's only just enough. I don't think that'll fit down inside 1 3/4 pipe. So that's where we're at with that. The rest of the bits are my mate's been welded up. We've welded the spider in and machined all that up and threaded the inside hole and all that. And it's looking pretty good. We do have an issue here, which is about as far as we got with that. We've got a boring bar, Chinese one. The Chinese boring bar will bore that nicely down as far as it needs to be. However, the Chinese boring bar won't go in the tool holder. So we need to machine the end of this down. So it does. So that's another job that needs to be done. Not a big job, but we have to do that. Oh, stupid thing. Anyway, we put the taper the wrong way on this pattern without thinking about it, and I don't know why I did that, but if you have a look. We've got to taper this way on here. There's no point in that at all, and if it had been parallel, it'd clean up, but we didn't think of that. That's probably a good idea, Chirp. I just think that it is probably getting too much offset. I think we'll just machine it. Shouldn't be a big deal. So anyway, basically this pattern, whether I just put some pieces on the outside to build this up, wants to be parallel all the way along, and then there'd be no problems. And looking at this, I'm going to have a look at the drawing, but I've got a feeling that it wants to be another. Don't know, it needs a modification. It could do with being probably 3/8 an inch longer. Gonna have to check that. The boring bar is no good to me at all as it is, so I think we might just machine it. There's now unlikely to ever be another machine that will be useful, but I think Chirpy's right. Welding is not probably a smart idea, but we'll see how we go with it. Anyway, that's the progress on the whistle. It's basically I've got this bit, and we've got basically this bit welded on, sort of, and then we've got what happened to that? Absolutely no idea where the other pattern went. But anyway, the outer piece here is ready to be welded. It's all machined up. So he's going to weld around here. Hopefully it pulls. Welding that on has put a bit of a dish in the centre of this. So this is concave like this where it's pulled a little bit. There's some level of hope. Because if we weld around the outside here, maybe this will pull this back down this way and flatten out the bottom a bit. There's room to machine it off if we need to, but we've machined all the top of this and put a thread in the middle, which is 1/8". For the centre stud, that's been machined. We need one of these which goes on top, which is the reed plate, sort of that shape underneath, so we'll get one of them cast. That's not actually the pattern, that's just to see how it fits, make sure that it's the right, sorry I'm a bit, not saying too much, sorry I'm a bit quiet, just to make sure it all fits in the casting basically. So we've got that one. And that's got a Boss machine on here to fit that. So can't show you any of that, it's all done. And we should have it back probably this week, welded up, and I can machine the outside of this. Hey John. But yeah, it should be totally up here with like a blue ray of light and a plastic cow. That's where we're at with that, Chirpy. I see your point there. That's very valid. So that's where we got with that. Drop that off on, well, must have been Sunday night to get welded. It's now Wednesday. No great rush on it really, I said, so we'll get it when we get it. That's how that is. As promised, I made a bit of progress on this. I'll stand back so you can actually see it. Why are we zoomed out? I don't know. Are we zoomed out? No, we're not. So this is a sort of a work in progress. I don't think this is dark enough. It wants a little bit more colour in it and a little bit more dark in it. I believe it's slowly getting there. But I've put about 4 or 5 hours into it, I guess, to get sort of roughed out. Anyone who's interested, this is what we're going to end up with, sort of. Probably. I may reposition those balloons up top. The rest sort of slowly coming together. It needs a little bit more dark, a little bit sort of luminosity, and it needs some buildings in the background and probably a little bit more on the sky. I'd like to see this probably more purple in it. Up here a little bit darker. So that's coming together. That's a companion piece to this one, which has got a coat or two of varnish on it now and is about ready to sign right, actually. So it goes in the other side of the A-frame to this one. And that one's pretty well finished. But this one needs quite a lot of work still. We'll get there. What kind of varnish? It's just a clear. I think it's outside. It's a clear coat. I've got a tin of it here. I've got an empty. No, probably not. It's Norglass, which is an Australian brand. It's a clear coat, like polyurethane clear, which is really nice. I just want to give this a bit more of a smoother surface for sign writing on, because this is being almost impressionist and there's quite a bit of build up on this. Sticking shiny enamel on top, it's not going to slide on. It'll be a very nice job. So I just rolled that on. I put a stripe around the side on Monday, something like that. Sunday, probably Monday. Put a stripe around that. No masking tape. Pretty impressed with that. It's not a terrible line down there at all. Very nice. Just to tidy up the edges, and then and peel. I think that's how it works, actually. And then I'll put one coat on it and I'll let it dry completely, and I'll stick another coat on it, and then we can start to work. And there's a sort of a scroll banner on here with the writing on it, and there's some other lettering down here somewhere. And this one will be the same when it gets finished. There's a bit of work in that yet. Anyway, it's nowhere near finished. So they're jobs that I've done. Got a parcel from Peter, which is much appreciated. Still working bits and pieces out without a lot of progress so far. Had to buy this adapter for the GoPro, which gives a 3.5mm USB-C microphone input. Peter's sorted out a microphone, which I haven't managed to get operational on this camera yet, or on my computer. I'm still working on that one. So this should be set up for much better audio in the next video, because the last one was a bit crap. So There's no road run fridge. Mark says that I'm in charge of the engine because it's my engine, so I get to say when there's a road run. Open and shut. Take it up with him if you've got disagreement. We'll have a look at the pump in a minute. Also, this tripod, which I think is a really good thing. It's got a gimbal in it, apparently. I haven't managed to really make it work yet. I noticed some extra buttons on it that I didn't notice before. I've charged the light, but I didn't charge that. So I think maybe the reason you're all getting dizzy is because the gimbal's not turned on. But we'll have a play with that. Thanks, Peter. Thanks heaps for the present. That's awesome. Also, this one. Anyone who's jumped on one of Mark's live streams or on Discord when we're chatting knows that my computer isn't real good either. I do have a nice microphone, a desktop microphone, but this one's pretty good too. This is pretty impressed with this, but this is on an arm, which means I've got to find another place to bolt it if it goes here. We need to read the instructions, Peter. That's where we're at with it. Not very good at that. We will get to it. I just haven't really caught up with you, and I was going to sit down and do it. So, there's that. What else have I done this week? Gosh. Put this away. And all the other stuff. This electronics box. I had to look through this starter kit electronics pack I've had for years because I needed a infrared LED for a project at work. And I actually had one in a hurry, so they can replace that at some point. But fix that, put it away in a minute when I stop dropping stuff. It's not a boring bar, that's actually a gold leaf mop. And someone might be interested in that. It's not new, I've had it a little while. Nice soft. Probably squirrel hair. Gold leaf mop. Number 5. Which got gold leaf in it, it's probably been used. But very nice thing. I needed one for a little while. I got one back a few months ago. Gold mop number 5. Yeah, professional studio. That's what we are. Oh, that's heavy. The other thing I've done, I've got this paint in this box, and I've had it for quite some time. We've all seen that. This was on Marketplace at the right price, so I went over Tuesday morning and grabbed this. It's a carpenter's box, really. Move this back and we'll sit down. It's a bit rough. It's missing a few screws. It's got this bit of angle line that someone's put on there. It's quite a neat job, but probably not sure why they've done that. Stop it getting kicked, or maybe it will become apparent later on. Belonged to someone named O'Brien. Don't know. It's written in texter. It could do. Sort of looks like it's been a painter's box at some point. It's covered in paint, but maybe it was just a mechanic, like a carpenter's box. These catches all could do with a clean up. This is not as nice as Chirpy's, but it's got a drawing till or whatever, which is ready made. It's full of sawdust and stuff still. It's got some nice, like decent, nice. They're not dovetail, but they're not terribly made drawers. Dude must have cut this one a little bit too deep. Notice it's got a filler in there. Someone's put a filler strip in there, so he must have cut that tin just a little bit too deep, I reckon. And they're just on rails. There's two short ones and a couple of long ones. This will probably live in my van mostly once it's cleaned up. The drawers are really nice. Looks like he made the same mistake here, whether he was going to make these overlap or whether it's... I reckon what's happened, looking at that, is that it's had 3 long drawers in it and someone's cut this one down the middle and put the second section in it. I don't know, but it's nicely made thing. And some space in the bottom for paint cans and things, which is really good. It's fairly heavy. It doesn't have a handle on top, which is a bit of a pain. I think it needs a handle on top. It's got, have a look, it's got lift-up handles on each end. These could do with a sandblast and a bit of a coat of paint, probably. And looking at it, the plywood on the backs, well, it's not terrible. One of the pliers is delaminating, and it's got some pretty ordinary gaffer tape on it, where so it's been duct tape or something, packing tape, where something's been stuck to it, I'd say. Don't know what. There you go. So it could do with, could do with a new piece of ply on the back, just to reinforce it a bit. And probably sand back and a coat of varnish, and we might think about painting it up too, but I don't know when that's going to happen. Someone's got aluminium strip along the bottom there too, similar to the one on the top, both sides of the front, and there's a short one at the back as well, so there's probably just protection to stop it kicking around. I don't know why he's done that. Interesting. Probably also want some rubber feet on it, it'd be useful. Leave it as is and sticker it up, and maybe that's the answer too. I think I'd put a coat of varnish on it. I wouldn't mind doing like a classic English car painting job, like a wagon painting job. In cream and green with a pictorial in the middle or something like that. I don't know yet. Peter sent a sticker. I'm not going to show it on this very, very, very PG-13 channel because it's not. It's not what we're about here, but the laugh was appreciated. It will slide around quite a bit with that aluminium on it, and I don't like that much in the back of the van, so I'm probably going to put rubber feet on it, which is good. Anyway, because it's not really another project, I reckon a half a day, clean it up and tidy it up and get some paint on it, or some varnish on it, or whatever it needs. And maybe this time next week we'll have a decent looking toolbox sitting here, a paint box. We can put stuff in. Most of my paint's in bins like that, which is okay if you want to move it around, but it's a bit of a pain if you've got to find anything. And you're never quite sure what's in the van and what's not. Most of this is just house paint and mural work. So, but I don't know for metal corners. I'm not really a big fan of metal corners. This one I'm sitting on has got metal corners. They catch on stuff, and you always catch a t-shirt on them going past and stuff. Something a bit heavy here, it might be all right, but I don't think it needs it. I think just finish it up. I'd very much like to put something a little bit more durable on top, because like my box here, it ends up with paint being mixed and so forth. It ends up with a horizontal surface, so they never ever last. But a couple of good coats of varnish on that won't hurt, even if we leave it like it is. Leave all these paint marks and things on it, probably cool. Anyway. That was a bit of a steal, and it was a good price. It was sort of a gift, really, at the price. Had to go to Greenbank to get it, but it's only half hour out the road, and take into account the phone getting too hot for GPS and getting lost and so forth and so on. Anyway, I think it could do with a vacuum out and probably a sand back pretty quick. And look, I could stick a coat of enamel on it, but it's going to make it an extra 3-day job. Bill, that's not a bad idea. That's a very good idea. Thanks for that. Ankles. Gee. Striped socks. See? Awesome socks. The local IGA had a special of $2.50 a pair for socks, so I've got about 5 pairs. Good deal, but that's the quiet pair. Thanks, Chirp. I might look into that too. I've got Bunnings one on this, brass Bunnings ones, and they're all right. I didn't put them on, but they're a bit tinny. I think something like even a plastic one. Don't know, but it's not going to end up being knocked about too much. It's just going to sit in the back of the van. See how it goes. But anyway, that's another thing that's happened this weekend. What else? Don't know really. Filled oil cans up. That was a pretty exciting thing. Need to do some vacuuming because there's brass everywhere after finishing that casting. I think I'm going to pull that out and redo it. But I'll just check the drawings and things first. Hey, Stuart. Anyway, it's all happening. There's another panel over there that needs some attention at this point too. I have to get on to that. These will come first. I'd like by the end of next weekend to sort of have this at the same stage of that one, and then I can put some lettering on them and get rid of them. Collect some cash. It's really nice. Big fan of collecting cash. Now something else happened, and I'm a bit annoyed about this. We're going to look at this. Right, saw this here first. Right, got one of these. This is a really good thing, but yeah, Chirp, I don't mind painting this because it's good advertising and it's always fun to update. It's good practice, all that stuff. No, it's got any aging or history or... Yeah, maybe. I don't know, I might do like a ghost sign on it. Don't know, we'll see. I'm going to put a new plywood piece in the back anyway, so we might just paint the back and varnish the rest. I don't know. We'll have a look at it. Think about it. Got one of these. Presso got one of these, and he was smart enough to shop around and buy it at the right spot. I've been looking at one of these for a long time, and then Presso got one, and I thought, well, I really want one of those. That'd be a very useful thing in my situation. Goes on the wall. And it's a rag cutter. It's quite a useful thing. I think it's just got a Stanley knife blade in it. That's about as complicated as it gets. Now, I had bookmarked. These were invented by a guy in New Zealand. And I sort of had the place bookmarked, and then I couldn't find it. And to buy directly off him, and I had every intention of doing that. But an almost identical ad popped up in my Facebook feed, and I clicked on it and bought one. And it all seemed above board and kosher, and I figured, well, that was it. But this one came from China. So, obviously, 3 months out on a new business venture, and China's already copying these. I don't know if it's any good. It feels a bit flimsy, and I would like to go and get a genuine one and see if it's any better or any worse. I don't know, it feels pretty light. It feels like it wouldn't take much probably to bust it off. But I don't know. So just be careful of that. If you're going to buy something and support creators, or small business or whatever, make sure you do, and don't just go and buy something that looks the same with the same ad, because maybe it's coming out of China, and maybe some fairly unscrupulous Chinese manufacturing company saw the idea and reverse engineered it already and is selling them at almost the same price. So, a bit annoyed about that. But it's a rag cutter, so screw it on the wall or on the end of this box probably is what's going to happen, or pillar in the van or somewhere on a post or whatever, and use it for cutting t-shirts up, seams and rags and things. And I think it's probably really good for that. I'm yet to try it out, but there you go. Probably going to go on the end of this cabinet here, because it'd be a useful thing to have. I'm sick of cutting up old jeans and things. Take care, Chirp. Good to see you. Hope everything's going all right. So, come with 4 crappy little screws. I might put it up ready for next week, and we can demonstrate it and see how it is if we haven't busted it off already. But I'm not really impressed buying it out of China instead of the guy that invented it and is trying to make a go with them. Kicking myself a bit for that, and I'm wondering if I can run to buy a genuine one and see if they're the same or different, what the story is. Because one down at Shenandoah wouldn't hurt either. Excuse me, guys. It's a bit of a yawn. Big day today. Fairly busy day. All happening. And half a dozen tags on the bench. Tag heuer watches with various problems. One's got a damaged screw in the back, and it was a bit of a job to open that. And then discovered that the dial feet were broken, so the dial spins round and stops the watch when it touches on the centre stem. So that becomes an expensive repair quick, and all I was going to do is kick one screw out. There's another tag chronograph with a Rhonda movement in it that's not behaving at all. I'm not getting any signal out of it. Don't know why. I don't know whether. I'm really not sure why. Had the board out and cleaned it up and tested it and not getting anything out of the board too, but it could be a contact on the hack seconds function or something like that. Now this is all doesn't sound. I'm just unloading this. Sorry guys, it's not making any sense at all. I know. Yeah, and so on and so forth. So that's what I did all day. Boiler, yes, and a sign, and a parcel, chirp. A parcel to send to my sister, a parcel to send to you. And I probably should go to the post office. It might be tomorrow or the next day, but it might be straight after. I'll give you a tracking number when I've got it. Find a box for it. It's all ready to go. Thanks for the reminder. It's a big yawn. What else? Pump body sitting there. I'm going to take it up to Petrie. And sandblast it. Put a coat of red paint on it. Fridge thinks it needs to be red. I'm less convinced about that, but he thinks red's the colour, so we might paint it red. And then we need to start making some bits for it. There's no point putting it back on the engine if it's not done properly. Absolute waste of time pulling it off again with nice fresh paint on it and doing it properly later on if we need to upgrade it, because it ain't going to happen once it's got check valves in it to work. It's unlikely to ever come off for things like pipe flanges and things, so I'd like to get all that done. I'd like to get it all fixed. Mark sent a great heap of photos of Fowler rollers and engines. And much appreciated, Mark. Now, why does China make things so cheap? Because they're too stupid to charge high prices. That's about where we're at with that, I think, at this day and age. The reason that that's cheap, and it's not that much cheaper than buying it off the guy. Yeah, the trouble is that there's not, in most retail situations in Australia, there's not enough markup to make any sensible profit or anything that might contribute to anyone's hip pocket. So the place that they win more than anything is on post, right? Post out of China is half the price of post out of anywhere else. Right, I bought 4 little brushes, and this book out of the UK, right? Rag cutter, Peter. Yes, it's a rag cutter. In case you missed that. James P, good day. Sorry, yes, it's a rag cutter. Bought this book out of the UK. Very nice book, actually, on fairground and special fonts. Really like this book. I'm sort of tossing up. I'm looking at this and thinking these signs want something like that on them, probably. Don't know. It's nice. Not sure, but maybe. The issue is that this book out of the UK and 4 little paintbrushes, which weigh nothing, was about £20 to post, which is in Australian dollars is about $40, right? And because it's a creator who's an awesome guy, and I like to support him, and he's a pretty helpful sort of a kook if you want to know anything. I bought it because it's a good book too, and I've got the other one and I wanted this one. That had free postage on it, right? And was courier delivered. So I don't really know what to do about that. We can do some things, but it doesn't help anyone else. I bought this right on Amazon because I went shopping in 2 or 3 places and they never had one. And it's GoPro, so it's the same price anywhere. They set the prices. Their retail price points that get set by them. There's no way you can discount or anything on it. So I bought this last night at about 11:30 when I remembered it. Amazon Prime, of course, it was here at lunchtime. Don't know how they do that. But do you really want to buy off Amazon? Not really. I'd like to buy off this guy and the guy who invented that. The guy who makes these brush boxes. It's not a particularly useful thing. I haven't painted it, but it's not a bad box. But they're handmade, or locally, or Australian made. Got springs to hold the brushes apart. I'm not a big fan. Never gets used. Had it for years. Dug it out the other day. This box I'm sitting on, the blue box, it's made by a guy in Toowoomba, a retired guy. It's really nice. And it's made by someone who's in the trade who knows what people need. That's right, and it's here too. By the time I run to town and find somewhere to park and spend half a day messing around in the middle of the day when I could be productive doing other things, I can get exactly what I want because it's a GoPro product. I know what I want on Amazon for exactly the same price without them messing around. So it's a problem. It's not a problem that's going to go away anytime soon, and I would imagine that it might even get a little bit worse going forward. It's the crowd mentality though, and that's what happens. I don't imagine it's going to get any better, whatever happens. But it's a bit of a problem. Someone wants a couple of signs like that, right? Now, that one and this one, there's not a lot of work in them really. They're drawn out because I've had other things to do and I've got to wait for paint to dry and stuff, but there's not a lot of work in them really. They're worth $1,000 Australian, 500 each. Not crazy money for the amount of work in them. It's about the going rate, and really enjoy doing them. But they're locally made. No one else has got one the same. They're going to last for years. If they don't last for years, there'll be someone to patch them up. You won't have to buy another one. And if they change the name of the shop or the Facebook page or whatever, I can easily come down and change them. So it makes sound economic sense to do that, but you can go to Officeworks and you can get 2 paper or 2 cardboard signs for an A-frame printed for about $60-$70 on decent outdoor material. And that's the way signage goes. Unfortunately. But James is right. In town, there's a public. That's a very good idea. It's not to have anything to do with them, and I have enough to do with them without doing it again. So, convincing people that this is what they need at a price that's inflated is a fairly difficult thing, but it's something everyone's got to do because no one would have a job if we didn't. Unfortunately, we can't all do clerical work. Because someone's got to pay for that too. Anyway, enough of a rant. Especially anyone who's a little bit marginalised, probably lucky to find anything. What was the reference? If I tell you that, I will have to kill you. It's a bit steampunk. It's not really a particular windmill. The sails are a bit odd when you look at them. It's quite nice. The reference was a picture, but this is interesting because this is a Creative Commons general use picture by an artist that used AI to generate it. Right? And it doesn't particularly make a lot of sense, but it sort of works. And I've taken some liberties, like it never had a rainbow in it. And it sort of looks good in there, and it balances on the picture nicely. Now, I took that guy's name and some key elements and stuck him into AI, and I come up with this one. So they're both AI, so customer's choice, yep. The rainbow's definitely a customer's choice thing. There's also a green tree frog in each of these, which I've got ready to put on, really. But after we put the lettering on, there's a green tree frog sits up in the corner. So that's where we're at. Don't think you can fix stupid. And stupid doesn't want to be fixed mostly. I did promise myself we wouldn't make any aspersions at all to the US election, but I don't think that's going to help anyone. Certainly not going to help anyone in America who's struggling. But good on you guys. That's what it takes, I guess. The world really needs another secular state. Because, honestly, and all the ones in the Middle East are a bit close together, and they haven't got enough money really to kill each other. And the ones in Asia are too busy making money by selling things to other people to really get interested whether people think there's going to be a war with them or not. I don't believe there probably ever will, because, hey, look, who are they going to sell these to if they go to war? Just saying. And that's where that is. You can't fix stupid. And probably we should be concentrating more on selling to stupid, because it seems to be what works. Because stupid makes the choice. If that's hurt or upset anyone, well, good on you, but that's how it is. Anyone's a little bit marginalised either gets off or stops or tops themselves or whatever it needs, and that problem's fixed. We can go back to what the Bible says. All important stuff. Anyway, that's probably all you'll ever hear me cut loose on that one. Don't have a lot of patience for stupid sometimes. Anyway, yeah, money's no problems with these, Peter. There's will be no issues, and when this is done, we agreed on the price, and when this is done, there's another one. So they need a better pandemic. Bill says that's correct. Except that it didn't actually exist. It was just a marketing ploy to sell pharmaceuticals to people who didn't need them. You know that. If you haven't worked that out, well, there's something wrong. Don't know what else, really. I don't know if there's much else to really talk about. Oh, I'll stand up. Anyway, we were on this subject, which is the pump. I think I showed you this. We've got basically a prototype valve that works. This is what the drawing sort of says, with some interpretation, and that's how they fit together. I don't know. I reckon that these were probably originally cast and then machined on the outside and the faces and the holes, which is probably as easy a way as any way to do it. These were probably machined out of solid. I don't know. They're a bit of a dog of a thing to machine. If you made them oversized, you could grip them by there and machine that, and then grip by here, I guess, and machine that. But I don't know if you gain much by doing that, so might just make them up out of solid. Don't know, but that's something that needs doing. They go in there. All these bits need fixing, repairing, so forth, so on. There's pump bits. And it needs two new flanges anyway. The elbow's in there too. I'll take that, get that sandblasted. And quite a lot of new nuts, so I better get in at some point. Spend next week getting into these and getting these finished. And then